All right, the next thing we're going to be going over is floors and roofs. So floors and roofs are relatively the same. They model on a flat surface, and then you have a couple of points you can adjust and a couple of things you can do with those. So let's get into that. Floor compositions operate the same way as wall compositions, really any other ones. Floor compositions have different structures. This is a generic one, so we won't worry about that right now. Tells you the thickness. You can also model it by what material you have on there. Nothing too special in the family section of this, but they are based in other things like height offsets, can be room bounding and not room bounding. Right now we won't really worry about too much for those. To create a floor, architecture, tab, and then it is under floors. We do floor, architectural, structural, floor by face, or a slab edge. Just going to worry about the architectural floor right now. So next tab it will bring up is this one. We can also select walls here. So this is another unique feature with floors and roofs. You can pick walls or just pick lines. Pick walls, add sketch lines based on existing walls. What I could do with this one is kind of cool. So selecting the walls by tabbing over a couple times, actually just once in this instance, it allows me to select all of those walls in sequence. So that way when I click on this, one click, it does the entire outline almost perfectly. There's a couple areas like here where it messes up. We'll just do a trim extend to clean it up. And boom, your floor is pretty much done. You hit the check mark button and that thing is all wrapped up and you have yourself a second floor. Don't attach the walls. So I already have a floor in place, so it's telling me that I have an overlapping, but you can see how fast that was, which is a really nice way to do it without having to trace every single line. Another thing you could do, you could create by straight lines, using straight lines, rectangles, using all of these different shapes, creating it on different work planes, creating offsets, and then extend into wall is another option you can have with this. We can also choose slope arrows and span directions. This is starting to where floors get a little complicated. So I'll show you what I mean here. Make this rectangle here, hit the check mark, and now I can start creating different elements. Modify the sub elements. This would be like picking points, and this is how you'd create accurate sloping for roofs. For a good instance, and how you, so the example they show in the video right here is creating a roof that you could put on there and dropping the element. They drop it by 1,000 meters, which sinks the center alignment. But I'll show you what to do there. We'll modify sub elements. It brings up this new dialog, and we can start adding points, adding split lines, or adding supports. So I'll add a bunch of points into here and then create my elevation. We'll say it's 2 feet on a 2 feet slope. Let's put one here and here. And now you can see that there's a 2 foot rise here. And we can actually adjust these as well. So by tabbing over, just hitting the tab button, it allows us to select this specific point, and I can move this up, down, sideways. It'll throw up some warnings because it's kind of a weird shape for a floor. That is pretty much it for that, and I can also just go back and reset the shape. Add split line, which is here, here, and now I can actually just raise this entire line to 2 feet, and it creates a little hip. That's obviously going to be helpful for the roof. Roof is the same thing. You modify it the same way, so I don't really need to go over that too much in depth. But a roof can be extruded in a couple different ways. We can do the roof by footprint, which basically allows you to pick the walls on the outside of the building and then create a roof from that. You can do a roof by extrusion, so if you know the profile of the roof, this one shows like a curvy roof, you just basically draw the outline of the profile and it'll create an extrusion backwards. We can create it by mass, and then there's a couple of other roof elements like soffits, fascia, and gutters that we can create from there. So in my roof example that I have right here, I had two split lines. I had two split lines, one from here to here, and then another one from here to here. And then I just selected the point in the center and then pulled it up about 8 feet. And that's how it created this simple gable roof that we see in this image.